Hello everyone! As we've grown up, each generation has witnessed the rise of legendary artists who have inspired millions. Before the 90s, we had icons like Michael Jackson, British rock legends, and of course, the legendary Beatles. Today we are witnessing a new era of music legends like Coldplay, Beyoncé, and Rihanna. But you know what? There's one artist who has achieved something truly historic, breaking records that even Beyoncé and Coldplay combined couldn't match. An 11-time Grammy-winning musician and one of the biggest superstars on the planet, the one and only Taylor Swift. Applause. Let's talk numbers. During the 2023 summer tour, Coldplay earned $85 million, and Beyoncé brought in $145 million. Combined, that's an impressive $230 million. But guess what? Taylor Swift on her own made a mind-blowing $350 million. Check, check, check one, check two, check. Welcome to the world of the pop phenomenon, Taylor Swift. Her new concert film was the #1 movie at the box office last week, proving that this isn't just a tour, it's a cultural movement. This summer, 53% of US adults identified as Taylor Swift fans, and the tour itself has become an economic powerhouse. Just the Eras Tour alone is set to generate $1 billion in ticket sales, and contribute a staggering $5.7 billion to the US economy. To put that in perspective, this one tour will out-earn the GDP of 35 entire countries. Never before have we seen an artist sell out multiple stadiums in the same city and do it effortlessly. Ever since Taylor Swift started touring, my Gen Z friends have been going absolutely crazy about her. And with all this hype, I decided to dig deeper into her success. And you know what? Taylor Swift isn't just a superstar, she's a marketing genius and a brilliant businesswoman who has mastered the art of storytelling to build a billion-dollar empire. So, in today's episode, let's explore, how did an ordinary girl like Taylor Swift become a legend in the American music industry? What personal branding strategies made her the greatest artist of this generation? And most importantly, what marketing lessons can we learn from the one and only Taylor Swift? Let's dive in. Taylor Swift's journey to superstardom began when she was just 14 years old. At the time, Nashville was the ultimate destination for aspiring musicians. Understanding this, Taylor convinced her parents to move to Nashville, taking a bold gamble on her future. And guess what? It paid off. In Nashville, fate played its part when Scott Borchetta, the founder of a record label, saw Taylor performing. Impressed by her talent, he signed her to a 13-year contract, officially launching her professional music career. This moment teaches us a crucial business lesson. Talent and hard work alone are not enough. You need to be in the right place at the right time to seize life-changing opportunities. No matter how skilled you are, if you're in the wrong environment, success will always be out of reach. Taylor and her parents realized this at just 14 years old, and their decision changed her destiny. Now here's the real question. Many young singers achieve childhood stardom, but very few manage to stay relevant for 2 decades. So what makes Taylor Swift different? That's exactly what we're about to uncover. How has Taylor Swift stayed at the top of the charts for 17 long years? The answer lies in a concept called parallel evolution, a pattern that even artists like Eminem have followed. Let's break it down. If you analyze the key milestones in a young girl's life, here's what you'll find. During high school, the most significant aspects of an American girl's life revolve around high school romance, teenage dreams and ambitions, and the struggle of balancing studies and future goals. And guess what? Taylor Swift's first albums, Taylor Swift and Fearless, were built entirely around these themes. Because of this, her music instantly resonated with her audience, making her an overnight sensation. Then comes college life, a phase filled with first heartbreaks, changing relationships from school to college, and the bittersweet taste of growing up. And we've all felt this, right? When we graduate college, we feel empowered because we can finally make our own money. But at the same time, we experience the pain of leaving behind friendships, relationships, and carefree teenage years. This ability to grow with her audience is what makes Taylor Swift different from other artists. But how exactly did she evolve her brand to stay relevant for nearly 2 decades? That's what we'll uncover next.
Pop superstar Taylor Swift's new concert film may have been #1 at the box office last weekend.
See the concert that is turbocharging the economy and capturing the pop culture zeitgeist this summer.
53% of the adults in the United States consider themselves to be Taylor Swift fans.
Meanwhile, the tour itself is an economic juggernaut.
And now, this era's tour.
As we leave college, we experience a mix of emotions. Excitement for the future, but also emptiness because we're no longer surrounded by the same friends. And once again, Taylor Swift captured this phase perfectly with her albums Speak Now and Red, which explored themes of heartbreak, evolving relationships, and the bittersweet journey of growing up. Her audience, who once connected with her songs about high school romance, now found her music reflecting their early adulthood struggles. This parallel growth is what set Taylor Swift apart. As her fans entered their mid-20s, life brought new challenges, perceptions, identity struggles, and complex relationships. And Taylor Swift responded with hits like Blank Space and Bad Blood, which spoke to these exact emotions. This pattern continued. As her audience matured, so did her music. She embraced themes of adulthood, vulnerability, self-discovery, and resilience, ensuring that her songs always evolved alongside her fans. This parallel evolution, where both Taylor Swift's music and her audience grew together, is the key reason why she has remained relevant for nearly 2 decades. One of the biggest reasons behind Taylor Swift's massive popularity is her ability to retain fans while constantly attracting new ones. In business terms, she wasn't just adding new consumers, she was also keeping her old ones engaged. Her audience didn't just listen to her music, they grew up with it. Taylor's songs became a reflection of their own lives, making her music deeply personal and relatable. Over time, this emotional connection turned into an extraordinary fandom, one where fans had been listening to her for over a decade. This is the power of relatability, but here's the real question. Relatable storytelling is common among many great artists. So what makes Taylor Swift so special? Why is she being called the greatest artist of this generation? Well, you know what, guys, let's find out. Taylor Swift isn't just a legend because of her songs or lyrics. She is an iconic inspiration for 21st century women worldwide. Over time, she didn't just make music, she stood up against some of the biggest names in the industry, including Apple. Yes, you heard that right. Taylor Swift took on Apple and won. And every time she went head-to-head with these industry giants, she cemented her status as a symbol of resilience and empowerment. But the story of this rebel spirit began way back in 2009 with an infamous incident, the Kanye West episode. Now let's talk about Kanye West, now known as Yeah, a 21-time Grammy winner, a multi-award-winning artist, and one of the biggest names in the music industry. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, Taylor Swift was just 19 years old. The industry was dominated by massive stars like Beyoncé, Kanye West, and Eminem. But that night, Taylor achieved a career-defining moment. She won Best Female Video at the MTV VMAs. Imagine this, a 19-year-old Taylor Swift walking up to the stage, surrounded by the biggest names in the world, ready to give her acceptance speech. It was a dream moment for her. But then, something shocking happened. Kanye West stormed the stage, grabbed the mic and said, "Kanye West, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish." But Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time. What happened next? That moment changed Taylor Swift's life forever. Taylor Swift. I was standing on stage feeling really excited because I had just won the award. Then I got even more excited because Kanye West was on the stage, and then I wasn't so excited anymore. This is how Taylor Swift described the moment Kanye West ruined her dream victory at just 19 years old. In front of the most prestigious audience in the industry, Kanye humiliated her by storming the stage and declaring that Beyoncé deserved the award instead. It was a public embarrassment, yet Taylor did not retaliate. She chose to stay quiet and move forward with grace. But the story didn't end there. In 2016, Kanye West released a song that reignited the controversy. In it, he referenced Taylor Swift with these lyrics, "Kanye West, me and Taylor might still." I made that expletive famous. Kanye was claiming credit for Taylor's success. The Kanye West incident wasn't just about Taylor Swift, it became a much bigger story. It reflected the struggles of extraordinary women in our society, women who achieve greatness, only to have their achievements downplayed, their voices silenced, and their moments stolen for no fault of their own. Just like millions of other women, Taylor Swift was publicly humiliated and dismissed, despite her talent and hard work. And that's why women around the world took this very personally. But instead of breaking down, Taylor Swift did what she does best. She turned her pain into power. In 2017, she released the album Reputation, a direct message to the world about media scrutiny, betrayal, and the duality of fame. But this time, for Taylor's fans, it wasn't just music. It was a reflection of their own struggles in society. And the response was massive. 400,000 pre-orders, making it one of the biggest pre-sales in history. 700,000 copies sold on the first day, the biggest sales week of 2017. Fastest album to reach #1 on iTunes in just 6 minutes. This was Taylor Swift's ultimate comeback, proving that no amount of criticism or industry politics could bring her down. But guess what? The story doesn't end here. The second monumental moment that turned Taylor Swift into a music industry legend was something called the Scooter Braun controversy. And this is where we uncover the dark side of the music industry. You probably don't know this, but most of your favorite artists don't even own their own music. Now remember when Taylor Swift was just 13 years old and a record label signed her for a 13-year contract? Well, that deal would later lead to one of the biggest battles in music history. When Taylor Swift was just 13 years old, she signed a 13-year contract with a record label called Big Machine Label Group. Years later, this company was purchased by Ithaca Holdings, a company owned by Scooter Braun, a powerful industry executive. But why was this a big deal? Because in the music industry, artists don't own their own songs. Here's how it works. When an artist records a song, the official recording is called the master recording. The label owns this master copy, not the artist. Using this master, the label creates copies and distributes them across streaming platforms, radio, TV, movies, and commercials. Since the label finances the entire production, studio time, set design, side artists, and more, it retains ownership of the masters. The artist only earns a royalty, a small percentage of the huge revenue generated from their music. At first glance, this might seem like a fair deal. After all, the label is making a financial investment. But what happens when an artist becomes a global superstar? Their songs generate millions, even billions of dollars in revenue. And yet, the artist does not own the rights to their own work. This is exactly what happened to Taylor Swift. And when Scooter Braun bought Big Machine, he gained full control over Taylor Swift's entire music catalog, without her consent. But Taylor Swift didn't back down. What she did next would change the music industry forever. On the surface, the deal between artists and record labels seems like a fantastic arrangement. The artist gets to focus solely on their craft, while the label handles the business side, including promotion, distribution, and finances. In return, the label earns a percentage of the profits and the artist gets a royalty. It sounds like a sweet deal, until it goes ugly. And the truth is, many brilliant artists have ended up broke because of these very label deals. In Taylor Swift's case, things took a turn for the worse when Big Machine Label Group was sold to Ithaca Holdings, owned by Scooter Braun. When the sale happened, Scooter Braun's company acquired all of Big Machine's assets, including Taylor Swift's entire music catalog, which consisted of 6 albums released between 2008 and 2017, including her iconic Reputation album. Taylor Swift wanted to buy back her own music, but despite her efforts, no one cared. The sale went through and she lost control of her own work. It felt like someone had sold her own creations without her permission, and she had no say in the matter, nor did she see any of the profits. This is the dark reality that many artists face in the music industry, losing control over their own legacy. But Taylor Swift wasn't about to let that slide. In the music industry, it's a common scenario for artists to protest when they lose control over their music. But over time, most just give up. Not Taylor Swift. When she learned that her first 6 albums were sold away from her without her consent, she didn't stay silent. Instead, she decided to re-record them, all 6 albums, and relaunch them to compete with her original versions. In her own words, Taylor Swift, "I've been re-recording my first 6 albums because I wanted to own my work. When I switched record labels, my first 6 albums were sold away from me." What this meant was that there would now be 2 versions of Taylor Swift's albums in the market, the original version, which wasn't owned by Taylor, and the newly recorded version, which was owned by Taylor. And the results were remarkable. When Fearless was re-released in 2021, it earned 3 times more revenue than the original. When Red, Taylor's version, dropped, the original version had sold 390,000 units. But the re-recorded version sold a staggering 3.32 million units in the first week. and there are 3 more albums still to come, as Taylor Swift continues to reclaim her music from the big record labels. This wasn't just a victory for Taylor Swift, it was a revolution in the music industry. Her decision to stand up to one of the biggest label companies in the world sparked a change, and soon, other artists started following her lead. Label companies became more aware and empathetic toward artists. And it didn't stop there. In 2015, when Apple launched Apple Music with a 3-month free trial, they said they wouldn't pay artists because they weren't charging customers. Taylor Swift took a stand, publicly stating that if Apple didn't pay the artists, she would not release her 1989 album on their platform. One day later, Apple reversed its decision and agreed to pay artists for their music. Imagine that, a trillion-dollar company bending to the will of Taylor Swift, paying billions of dollars to artists worldwide. This is how Taylor Swift went from being just a pop star to a rebel icon in the American music industry. Today, Taylor writes records and publishes her own music. Her net worth is nearing $740 million, $270 million more than the entire valuation of Big Machine Label Group in 2019. So, what can we learn from Taylor Swift's journey? Lesson number 1. Great artists build systems. While most artists top the charts for a short time, the greatest artists build a system to stay on top for decades. Lesson number 2. The underdog story sells. When you're the underdog getting bullied by the big players, you have 2 choices. Either crumble under the pressure or rise above it. Always remember, the story of the underdog is one that sells. So, if you're being knocked down, consider it an opportunity in disguise to rise higher. Lesson number 3. In this world, those who stand up for a cause will stand out. Taylor Swift didn't just fight for her music, she fought for artists' rights and the voice of women. This made her not just an artist, but an icon, the voice of a generation. And that's what sets her apart as the greatest artist of our time. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this valuable, don't forget to hit the like button. For more insightful business and political case studies, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.